woke up this morning really wanting to make a video about podcasts, and I listened to a podcast, and I realized I could not, in good faith, make a video about podcasts when I've got climate on my mind. Even before I listened to that podcast, I was scrolling through the news this morning, and I read an article in The Guardian about the death of Ella Kesey Debras, and how a coroner had ruled that her death was linked to climate change. To quote, "The whole of Ella's life was lived in close proximity to highly polluted roads. I have no difficulty in concluding that her personal exposure to nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter was very high." News outlets are calling this a landmark case as far as death from climate change are concerned, and it just really has me thinking about how the effects of climate change are most harming people of color in poor communities. And it made me think about all of the people in India who are probably likely to die sooner. In general, I'm thinking about the terrible fog and smog of places like India and China. Lives are being shortened here, and that's kind of what I mean by the title of this video. It's a little inflammatory, but let's deal with the actual reality of the situation on top of what I've discussed already. What we're really fighting for, what we're really striving for as far as that 2-degree change from pre-industrial averages is concerned, is the comfort and life experience of people living in the future, and the future includes tomorrow. How many more people are going to be displaced, not by war or poverty, but by climate change alone? It's really hard to put a number on that kind of thing. I guess what I was on about the other day was you're never going to see anything like a climate death toll on MSNBC News. Nothing so tangible. There's no number you can put behind climate change to really encapsulate it. But what I hope people are seeing with the coronavirus is that these larger-than-life issues can partially be dealt with on our parts. You know, we can wear our mask, or we can choose to make a better climate decision, like be more conscious of what we use. In any case, the onus is partially on us. Even though the coronavirus and the climate crisis are two separate issues with their own logistics and their own consequences involved, I think that there's a lot we can learn by looking at the United States' awful muck-up that is the coronavirus plan. 1, we've learned that the longer you wait to put plans into action, the more consequences it has down the road, exponentially so. 2, we've learned that in the absence of systemic change, we ourselves can take the initiative and put a mask on, or recycle properly, or just be more conscious of the things that we do every day. If you would like to see me talk more about what you can do for climate change, you should subscribe, because I want to make a video about that. I didn't even really talk about episode 170 of Reply All, but they're really quite candid in their discussion of climate change, and they really inspired me to make this video, because I feel like not a lot of people want to listen to that, but I know I myself kind of was fired up when I heard it. And they mention this tweet, but they also offer a metaphor about climate change that goes, picture you're in a van, and the van is heading straight towards the cliff. Things are going to get a lot worse before you're off the cliff. I don't really think we're heading towards a cliff. I think we are going to get it under control. Honestly, I'm quite hopeful. But it's more a question of how deep the ledge is off the cliff. You know? But I still don't agree with it being a cliff. If COVID is a nuclear disaster, climate change is an oil spill. One is kind of just happening in the background, and the other one thoroughly has our attention.